Good morning, brothers and sisters. I hope everyone is having a blessed day. My name is Patrick, End Time Watchman. If you have prayer requests, make sure you put them in the comments. Let's lift each other up and know that I am praying for you. If you previously put prayers in my other videos. So, what do I want to get into today? I believe I found the day count of the Feast of Wine in the book of Esther. And this is, to me, really interesting because it lines right up with this year. So let's start, and I've got three key things I want to point out to you, but then we'll look at them more specifically. But right now I'm going to read, point it out, and then continue reading. All right, so Esther 1:1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia. Now this is key, over 107 and 20 provinces. So 127. That's obviously alluding to Adar 7, or the 7th day of the 12th month. That is the birth date and death date of Moses, who died on his 120th birthday. The 120 is obviously symbolic of Genesis, when God said, the spirit of man, or my spirit will not always strive with man, his days shall be 120. All right, so that's the 6,000 years that God allowed in man on this earth, and then Jesus is going to return at the end of the tribulation to set up 1,000-year millennial reign where he will be ruling and reigning from Jerusalem. So let's continue. So that's key. That in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace. Now this is key right here in Esther 1:3, in the 3rd year of his reign. So now we have a very specific year that this is alluding to. He made a feast unto all the princes and his servants and the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and the princes of provinces being before him, when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and honor of his excellent majesty many days. Now this is key. Even 180 days, or 180 days, he had this feast. All right, so three key things that we need to look at. Let's go to screenshots. When was the 3rd year of his reign? We already know the 127 provinces is alluding to Adar 7, so we figured that out. It's right here. All right, the 3rd year of King Ahasuerus' reign could have been, and I believe that it was, 483 BC. Now I'll go down a little bit. The Persian king who reigned from 486 to 465 BC. So if you minus the 3 years from 486, you would land right up on 483. Now why is that significant? Don't worry about the day and month of this. I just threw in a random date. But 483 BC translates to Hebrew year 3278. So 3278. From there, I go, is it this one? Oh, sorry, this one. The Hebrew calendar, also known as the Jewish calendar, has leap years. Every 3rd, 6th, 8th, remember 3278, 11th, 14th, 17th, and 19th year of its 19-year cycle, called the Metonic cycle. Now this is a better explanation. Jews add a second month of Adar called Adar 2 during leap years to keep their lunar-based calendar aligned with the solar seasons. All right, now scroll down to the bottom. Passover is associated with spring, so adding a leap month can prevent it from falling too early in the year. So the moon lags behind the sun about 11 days roughly per year. So every 3rd year, they add this additional month. They catch me, because you'd be out about 30 days, right? So every 3rd year, they add this extra month to catch the moon back up with the sun, so their agricultural cycle doesn't get thrown off. Passover's not falling too early in the year. This would allow the barley another month to grow. So that's why they do this. So what does that have to do with this study? So I just proved that I believe that this was 483 BC, which was a leap year. So if you threw this 180-day feast beginning on Adar 7, the first month would not land on Nisan, it would land on Adar 2. So let's go through the day count. So the first month would be Adar 2. Nisan now becomes the second month of the feast. Iyar the third. Savan the fourth. Tammuz, instead of being the fourth, it is now the fifth. And Av turns into the 6th month, or the 180th day of the feast. So let's go to the calendar. Actually, I'll show you this, then we'll go to the calendar. So using this year's calendar, because I believe that the rapture is happening this year, I said, what is Adar 7? Adar 7 landed on February 16th. Well, obviously, this is a leap year, so it lines up perfectly. So March became Adar 2. So I said, I wonder what 180 days is from February 16th. Look at that. It lands strictly on August 13th, which is this year's Feast of Wine, the 9th of Av. So I'll show you that. Hebrew calendar. Actually, I should have did, because I know I can find it this way. There we go. So let's go to August 13th. Actually, we'll do the whole day count, this so I can show you how this lined up. So there's January. Remember, we're looking for Adar 7. So right there is Adar 7. You can see it there. February 16th. Now the king would have started the feast probably the evening of that day, going from the 7th of Adar going into the 8th. So you're looking at the 16th, 17th of February. Now, Adar 7, 7 Adar, but now it's Adar 2. So now we're in March. That's the first month. So let's go to the second month here. Right there, the 7th of Nisan. That's the second month. So now we're in May. Right here. So that's the third month. June. The 7th right here. That's the fourth month. Now we're in July. Right there, 7th of Tammuz. That's the 5th month. Let's go to August, which we're almost at. Where's the 7th? Right there's the 7th going into the 8th, which I did the actual day count because some of the months are shorter. It actually landed right on August 13th, the 9th of Av. So pretty incredible that that day count was found in Esther. And if you find that it was a leap year, which I did, you add that extra 30 days. So instead of landing on the 6th month, which is Elul, you land 1 month back right on the month of Av. Well, what does the king have after this 180-day feast? Let's look at that. Just to kind of prove that it was alluding to the Feast of Wine. So let's go here. I believe it's the 5th verse, chapter 1. Yeah. See, and when these days were expired, what days? The 180 days were expired. The king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace. So they're all before the Lord now, or before the king. Both unto great, small. Look at 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green, and blue hastenings fashioned with cords of fine linen, purple, silver rings, and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black marble. Now here's where it gets interesting. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse from one another, and royal wine in abundance according to the state of the king. And the drinking was according to the law. None did compel, for so the king had appointed to the officers of his house, that they should do according to every man's pleasure. All right, so after the 180 days lands you on the 9th of Av. Now the king has another feast for 7 days, I believe could be 7 years. And at the end of this 7, kind of a typology, he calls Vashti his first bride. She refuses to come. Remember, in Jacob, he wanted Rachel, but his first wife was a Gentile bride, Leah. And he marries her and fulfills her 7. Well, then he agrees to work for Rachel in another additional 7 years. And at the end, he gets his Jewish bride, which Esther in this story is the Jewish bride. So I haven't put all of that together, but I think that it definitely fits. And I believe that 483 BC was a leap year, and the 180-day feast from Adar 7 adding that extra 30 days takes you to the month of Av, right at the Feast of Wine. I'll show you that day count again. So Adar 7 was February 16th. I went out a straight 180 days. Takes you right to August 13th, which is the 9th of Av. So pretty incredible. I pray that this is it. If not, there are other really good high watch dates coming up. I did a video on that yesterday, so stay blessed, everyone. Stay encouraged. If you're not saved and you're on this video, God loves you. Unfortunately, Adam and Eve sinned in the garden. That sin that we are all born with separates us from God. God wanted that relationship with us, so he sent his son, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, down to earth. His perfect blood, he lived a perfect life. He died on the cross, shed that perfect blood, and a gruesome death on the cross. That blood paid for our sin. It was a perfect atonement for all the sins of the whole world. And that if you believe on that blood, that it paid for your sin, and you believe on his finished works, and you believe on his death, burial, resurrection according to the scriptures, and you believe it with your whole heart, and you confess it with your mouth that you are a sinner and you need that salvation, God will accept you back in, and you will be saved, and you will be part of his family. You are part of the body, and when this rapture does occur, which is occurring soon, you will be going up with us. So stay blessed, everyone, and if I don't see you, I'll see you in the clouds.